even lower. Keep going. Loosen up that screw. I think that's closest. And now A and E together. So I think the E needs to be a hair higher. Oh, my bad. Too high.
I was going the wrong way.
I know. Fantastic. You know, I've told you this before, but classical musicians actually talk about two notes being next to each other is literally perfect. Literally perfect. So there's A to E, that distance is called a fifth, and it's referred to as the perfect fifth. It's kind of like when you think about a square. You know how a square is defined by how it has equal sides? That's just the way it is. It is equal sides. So all of the sides have to be equal to each other. Well, it's the same with A and E. A and E are a perfect fifth, and they're perfect because they're exactly a fifth apart. Does that make sense? So there is, if you play it out of tune, it's not a perfect fifth, and when you play it in tune, it is a perfect fifth. There's no judgment about it. Perfect is just a label that we use to say that's it.
Kind of even related to that, like, right angle, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Why is it right?
Yeah, and it's also it's
Make a square.
right, and it's not wrong to not be right. That's just a label. Again, it's like a non-judgmental label. So if I say you're out of tune, or you're not playing a perfect fifth, or your strings aren't in tune, I'm not saying Muirenn, you're doing a bad job. I'm saying you're not in tune. It's just that. All right, let's play some violin. This. Great. What are you playing for Christy on Sunday? Good. Can I hear that now? Let's pretend you're playing this for a brand new teacher who you've never met before. Muirenn, did you tell your mom what book I thought you were in last week? Oh, sorry. Sorry I keep making those noises. Yeah, I was like, we have a book 5 student in front of us. Great. So, fantastic work inserting all of those the slurs into there. Yeah, that's coming along nicely. Muirenn, when you're in the 4th section, where all of those slurs are, I need you to have 2 personalities. I need you to have your slur personality, and I need you to have your stop bow personality. So slur happens inside of the bow stroke. So that's smooth. Now we're back to stops. Then smooth. Stops. It's like 2 characters having a conversation. Stop. Stop. If you don't have 2 personalities, if you only have a slur personality, it starts to sound like this. You get all those extra sounds going over the strings. Alright, may I hear your split personality?
Starting from the first slur?
Starting from the beginning of the 4th section. Yes, exactly. That's what I'm talking about. Crystal clear, and we get the slur. Now, when you're doing a slur, who's actually driving the bus? Who's the most important body part to think about?
Elbow?
Why?
Because it makes it work.
It needs to keep opening in the bow arm. I can see that. But with the bow, you only have one thing going on. Who's actually moving?
Fingers?
The fingers. The fingers are going ta 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 ta. And if the fingers get a little confused because the brain is thinking about the bowing, then the fingers start going ta 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 ta. They start like bobbing in the water rather than going ta 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 ta. Yeah. Give your brain away to the fingers this time. Dum da 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 dum. You hear how clean that was? Let's experience that again. One more time. Yeah, now your only extra ingredient that you need here is when you go over to the D string, it's a thicker string, so it needs a bit more weight. Yum, da 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 da. Dig in on the D string. There. Do that 5 times, and I bet it'll be easy. Nice one. 5. There you go. Great. So, give me a summary of what you're going to do in the 4th section.
I'm going to put my mind in my fingers to make sure they're not dum.
Yep. And what about your 2 personalities?
Yeah, the 2 personalities, the like stop, bow, and the slur.
And the what? Oh, and the slur. Great. Now, let's use that knowledge to talk about a similar section, which is our 1500 time spot. Can you play? These are very smooth bows. bows. And then during the 1500 time spot, where's your brain going to go? Yeah. So let's hear it. Start on the G, G, A, A. But stop, 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 stop. That's it. Yeah, so do it from the G. A long, smooth, or long. Yeah, what note does the stop bow personality come in? Yeah, and is there any G involved in those stop bows?
No.
What are the note names? Yeah, A, D, F sharp, D. Okay. All right, let's hear all of it together. There's our book 5 student. Wow. Seriously. Great. Any other things? Oh yeah, we talked about something from last week. I was a little bummed I didn't see it. Do you remember what our talking point was last week for Gasagavat? Starts with a T. It's kind of a new skill that you have in your toolbox.
Tonalization.
Yeah, tonalizing, right? To tonalize the C section, to tonalize the ending of the A section, right? Did that slip your mind, or did you feel like you were doing it and it wasn't coming through?
I felt like I might have been doing it, just not thinking about doing it.
You weren't doing it enough, my friend. So let's think about it. Yeah. When you don't think about it, it comes through like medium. So let's think about it to turn that into full tonalizing. Say that again.
Would you mind helping me understand what we're looking for so I can support
Sure.
it?
Yeah, exactly. So are we clear on the different words? So Dr. Suzuki came up with this thing called tonalizing,
Yep.
or the practice of tonalization, which is kind of like saying mindfulness or something. It's sort of a general term, but it's a technique that you do. And that technique involves all the things we've been talking about: ringing tones, heavy slow bow, etc.
Yep.
Now, to confuse all of us, he also invented an exercise called tonalization. So in group class, often teachers will say, all right, let's do tonalization. And it means kind of a combo of like, we're going to play the exercise and we're going to do tonalizing at the same time. But we don't always talk about doing it in the pieces, which is a shame. So sometimes we reserve our mindfulness practice, our tonalization, for just tonalization, and we don't put it into our repertoire, which is what it's designed to do. So now that you've been practicing your ringtone scale with your halo, right? Now we put it into which is very different from playing like a goldfish. Even though that's beautiful and shimmery and fine on its own, it's not the same as tonalizing. Right?
Can I ask a question? Do you mind if because one of the things that I was noticing while Muirenn was playing was like a small quickness with the bow, especially in that first section with the birds.
Yeah.
And I'm curious, like whether So it feels, at least from an observer, like tonalizing requires like lengthy vibration. And so maybe it's a different, or I don't know.
Yeah.
Is it achievable in the I
Right.
don't
Another way to think about it, I really like these questions. It shows a real depth of listening. Uh, a short staccato bow, like what we do for perpetual motion, you could think is the equivalent of hitting a bell. Dung, dung, right? And so you hit it and it rings on its own, but you only act once. So that's a staccato stroke. So, and then a long bow is basically the equivalent of ringing that bell constantly. So you imagine like it's a sort of almost a psychedelic idea. Like, what would be the sound of a constant ringing bell? And that's what we're going for.
Yeah.
So that's, you know. Who knows what the microphone is catching, but that's where the halo comes from, is the continuous, like the Tibetan singing bowls, like continuous sound. So what's fascinating about that is, just like you can have a dampened ring on a bell, you can also have a dampened staccato. So that or those are all examples of ringing the bell in a way that doesn't actually allow the most to ring. So that ringing quality, I describe all of that sort of as tonalizing, under the umbrella of tonalizing. So you can have ringing tone that's a short staccato bow, or you could have a ringing tone that's a long bow. But a long bow is constant ringing, and a staccato bow is a one-time ring. And either way, in either category, you can dampen that ring, keep it from happening. Okay. So it's okay to get the ring. If you don't hear it here, then you get the ring, but it's the same as when we do the hot dogs on the ringtone scale. You're still activating the ring of the instrument. And in fact, they're ringtones, right, Muirenn? So if you're hearing a very short sound, it's okay to tell Muirenn, hey, just like you're not playing in tune, hey, your ringtones aren't ringing. That's just a fact.
Always wanting to be tonalizing.
Oops.
Is there a time that as a violinist she's not gonna want to be tonalizing?
Only in like extreme artistic moments. So like a Jackson Pollock painting for the violin, you know. I'm thinking of like a Shostakovich string quartet coming out of the Soviet era of, you know, that's not tonalizing, but that's on purpose. Or a very shimmery Debussy dream sequence or something. Yeah. So for artistic purposes, you want to use different palettes.
Sure.
But one way to think about it is like the tonalized sound is like a river, and we can pull our different sounds out of that tonalized river if we have the source material. It's harder to come from those other artistic dimensions and then try and find tone inside of them.
Yeah.
Okay. That was a very big picture. Muirenn, were you following that? Okay. You probably already know it. You're like light years beyond words on this topic. So all of that being said, how about you show me the ba 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 bum bum in the first section, tonalized. It starts on B. Yeah. Right. So Muirenn, when I hear you through the computer, it sounds like it's waving in and out. Like sometimes I get this really rich bubble, and then it comes back to just straight sound, and then it goes back to the bubble. Can you try to get a solid thing? You hear the difference, Maura?
Yeah.
That she was sustaining it throughout? Great. And then now, Muirenn, what is the most juicy ringtone that you get to play in that chunk? Da ya da 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 do do.
G.
Yeah, I'd say either the G or the E, the first finger. La, G, E, G. Both of those really nice ringtones. So can you lean into them? Like a well. We just went like 100 feet deeper. Okay, what is the deepest you can go on that G? La, da, da, da. Overdo it. Now we're playing this violin. Oh my goodness. You
I'm
hear
like
it?
hearing the all of it. Yeah, it's a lot.
That's so good. Okay, and then now let's go back to what your mom was referring to, which is can you get hot dog rings on these? So that's a different sound quality than you played at the beginning, right? I think you're taking more care of the notes, and I think they appreciate it. I think they're saying thank you. Yeah, and Muirenn, the coolest challenge I think in Gassagavat is when you do your birdie F sharp G to see if you can get the open G to ring. Yeah, when you do that, can you give enough tone to the G to get the open G to go? Oh, me too, me too.
It's funny because it's like G after G, G.
Yeah. Gossick is like, G. We're playing G. We're in G major. We're playing G's. And we're playing an F sharp. Nope, we're playing a G. Can you play that though? Dum. Yeah, tum. Dum. Get the open G to ring. Yeah, great. So those are the real only 2 points, right? So at the end, we're getting the two personalities, very clear slurs. And then in the other sections, the C section especially, and the end of the first section, we're getting that really tonalized, rich sound. Yeah. Any other questions about Gassagavat?
No.
Muirenn, do you have any questions about how the workshop works?
Well, does it?
I told you about ITE's gift to us, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, so ITE said you can invite a teacher from anywhere in the entire world to come teach. Pick whoever you want because they don't have to pay for travel. So pick anyone you want. You coordinate the schedule. You set your students up. And it's a win for everybody, right? So ITE gets a great teacher to come. I get to watch a master teacher work with y'all. Y'all get to work with a master teacher. And the parents get a different perspective on teaching from different teachers. So I picked somebody named Christy Felsing. She's from Connecticut. You can watch her little bio. They just put out the YouTube one. Did you see it?
No.
Oh. Y'all look so excited. So if you watch the intro video of all the faculty, you'll see Christy. She's so kind. She's very generous, and she has incredible character. And she works really, really, really well with people in book one especially, which my studio is. Y'all are going to love her. You're going to love her. So she'll be teaching all day. So she's teaching my students from 11 a.m. all the way till 6 p.m. on Sunday. You only really need to come. You can come for as much as you want, but you have to come for the hour that you're scheduled so that you can watch. I put everybody in about the same zone of level. So Muirenn, you're with other people who are right at the end of book one, early book two. So you're going to watch them, And then you're going to do your turn. During your 15-minute slot, you only really have time to play through Gossikavat once. She might even stop you short so that she has more time to give you some feedback. Go wherever she goes. You know, if she's like, why are you tonalizing? Don't tonalize anything. She'd never say that. But if she does, then you say, okay, let me try. Be game to try anything. Just because I've said something, that doesn't mean you shouldn't try whatever she says. Okay? Great. And then we'll talk about it. Next time I see you, we'll have a little debrief and discuss what you talked about. Okay?
Is there anyone in particular, if we were going to kind of look at the schedule of students, is there anyone in particular, you knowing your students and Muirenn, like, who might be a good observation for us to?
Sure. You know, it's strictly an order of students in my schedule. So the 11 a.m. are pre-twinklers, and on down.
Yep.
So me and Bora and Daniel are book 3 and book 4, and they're gonna be from the 5 to 6 o'clock hour. So if you had time in the evening, you just want to stick around and watch. It's the same link the whole time. You also might be interested if you really want to be inspired. There are other teachers teaching other students who are high schoolers playing concertos. So you could go watch another master teacher work with another teacher's master students together. And that would just be kind of send me your time frame and I'll send you the link to.
Okay. I'll take a look at the our Sunday and how that's.
Yeah, just let me know. It's a cool weekend. And then Maura, you should plan if you can to make the Friday evening 8 o'clock parent talk.
That's the one I put that on my calendar.
It's a top priority.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Friday evening 8 o'clock. There's a parent talk. Some of the times, yeah.
Yeah.
And is that the same link too? I'm sure it's in the email, whatever the deal is. I will find that.
Yeah, that's the email that just went out this afternoon.
Great. Okay. I'll take you to that.
Cool. It's through Carrie's link. Carrie Rooning's link. All right, Muirenn. I need to hear some pieces for our book 1 recital. We said Andantino, Allegretto, and Perpetual Motion. Did you prepare them for today? Did you prepare them or no?
Can we go Perpetual Motion up?
Well, I want to use our time wisely. So we have 12 minutes left. So what did you work most on over the week?
I don't know. I just kind of did what I usually do, but like a bit more like making sure that I get the bowings. The bowings mainly, making sure that perpetual motion doesn't slide into legato.
Cool. Okay. I'm asking sort of a bigger picture question of like, did you work on these pieces a lot? Did you work on your ringtones and tonalization a lot? Did you work on chorus a lot? What did you spend the most time on?
3 pieces.
Okay, great. So we'll start with perpetual motion. Good. Can you play a smidge of the doubles? Amazing. Great. So I'm going to give you a K, not to any fault of your own, but there's more we can do with perpetual motion. The bowing looks fantastic. Nice work keeping it staccato throughout. Keep thinking about getting those ringtones on every note, right? Okay. So here's how you get your D. See if you can figure it out. Look. I change?
I don't know. I didn't understand what you did. Oh,
Get it?
sorry. I thought you said D's, and I'm like, what about D's?
Nope. Okay, so you're going to use fourth fingers? Now, we select the fourth fingers because we are staying on the same string. If we're going up to notes on the E string, then we'll use the E string. But if all of the next notes are on the A string, we use our fourth finger to stay on the A string. Okay? Would you like to try the first sentence that way with the fourth fingers? That's it. So you're going to have to go through perpetual motion. You're going to have to do what you did in Happy Farmer, which is be brave and make mistakes and experiment and not get upset at yourself. And just figure out where all those fourth fingers go. Okay? The last thing that you can do in perpetual motion is you can give yourself some shapes. So I would do some like normal playing at the beginning, and then yum bum 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 bum. This is the top, la la. Yum bum 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 bum. Right? You're a book 2 student now, so you can make some shapes in your music. You can lead the audience in a different direction. Take them on a journey. Here comes allegretto. Our old friend. Yum bum bum. Sounds great. The only thing I can ask for here is for full bows. So you're little at the frog, and then like Allegro, you zoom out to the tip, and you're little at the tip. Bum 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 bum. You should show me that on the open D string. You got the idea. Exactly. Here comes Andantino. You were like 1% away from nailing it. I was so close to saying you nailed it. You nailed it. You nailed it. You know what you missed? Ya da 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 da. Wait. bum, bum, bum. Ah. Next time, just add that little bit of weighting in. Sorry.
How many initials is that?
How many initials is that? That's a K with a D, and your mom's just gonna erase like a pixel of D. Just the smallest little smidge.
Allegro?
Like what?
With Allegro?
Oh, sorry. No. Oh yeah, like with Allegro. Yeah. So perpetual motion's a K. Allegretto is K with half a D, and andantino is K with 99% of a D.
Okay.
What am I going to hear next time, Muirenn, besides perpetual motion and allegretto?
I got it. 3 more songs or just 1 more?
Let's do 3.
Okay.
Good thing at the end of book 1 because our book is falling to pieces.
I've seen worse.
I bet. But when compared to book 2, it's just like a whole different.
I didn't hear that.
Lightly Row, Song of the Wind, and Go Tell Aunt Lily.
Faves. My favorites. Cool. Before I say goodbye, I'd love to see your chorus preview. Do you remember how that one goes? It's the one that goes G, F sharp, D sharp, E.
Okay. You just do.
And there's a Mississippi hot dog on each one. Fabulous. Do it one more time. Can you do a different rhythm? Maybe hot dog, hot dog? Wow. Okay. So the only things that's going to change, you're still going to put your fingers down in exactly that order, but we're going to hear G, 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 F sharp, F sharp, F sharp, F sharp. Set 3, set 4. 4, 4, 4, 4, 3, 3, 3, 3. Does that make sense, or do you need to see a demo?
Like.
Right. So now you're playing the actual order of the notes in the piece. But the whole key, the reason that I was sneaky and put them out of order first, is that that's the order that your fingers need to go down. So you go down in that order, but we hear them in the piece order. Making sense? So I guess the big thing to remember is that the 3 and the 4 get set before you play the 4. Okay? So make that a 15 times a day spot. Did you already pluck out chorus? Okay, go ahead and do that. This preview spot goes in the part that goes ya da 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 ya da 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 dum bum. But I remember pointing it out in the book, so Maura, you can help her connect the dots.
And only, would you mind saying the 4 notes again, because the notebook is at her dad's.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Let me just tell you the measure number. Should have this memorized. Measure 11.
11. Okay.
It's kind of in disguise. So the last note of measure 11 is a G. Measure 12 is the F sharp.
Right.
In that rest, she's setting 3/4.
Yep.
And then she plays E, D sharp. You see that?
Yes, I do. Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
So the only reason we need that in the music is just so that when she gets to that part, she doesn't forget to set the 3.
Okay.
Doesn't forget to use her hard work.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. So we're going to continue on with our book 1 journey, getting everything ready for the recital. We are going to discuss how Gossip Gavat went with Christy next week. We're going to hear your tonalized ringtone scale. And then we're going to hear chorus plucked all the way through. Okay, it's kind of a big week. But are you at this house this week?
Yes, it's the long week. Yeah. So, fun.
Even Sunday?
Yep. This weekend you're here.
Because if it wasn't. Wow. Papa's house. Oh.
Thank you.
Thank you, Drake.
See you on Sunday.
Sunday.